Are you looking for a great place to live? Are you looking for a great place to raise a family? Are you thinking of moving out of the big overcrowded city? Then Innisfil may be the place for you. Keep watching to find out some of the pros and cons of living in Innisfil, Ontario, the good and the bad. Hi there, I'm James Myers, and this is your channel for real estate information in the Innisfil and Simcoe County area. If you're new to the channel, please stick around, watch the video, and then if you like what you see, hit subscribe on your way out and tap the bell icon to be notified whenever I upload a new video. Innisfil is what you might call a small town. It's about an hour north of Toronto. It borders on Highway 27 to the west, Lake Simcoe to the east, and it has a population of around 44,000 people. Highway 400 runs right through the middle of Innisfil, and there are two exits off the highway. Highway 89, which is Cookstown exit, and then Innisfil Beach Road, which runs into Alcona. Innisfil is a big town geographically. It would take you over half an hour to drive diagonally from one corner to the opposite corner. And there are various settlement areas within the town of Innisfil, little small pockets like Alcona, Guildford, Cookstown. Alcona is the largest settlement area, so much of what I talk about here will refer to Alcona. The area is very popular with people from south of here, in Toronto, York Region, Brampton, Mississauga, the GTA. We get a ton of people moving up here from the GTA, but I don't hear many stories about people moving from Innisfil back to the GTA. I'm sure there are people that move up here, get up here, and then decide living in Innisfil is not for them and move back. But for the most part, the move is from south to north. And they are buying in Innisfil for any number of reasons. Lifestyle, cheap housing, less crowded. I'm going to list some pros and cons of living in Innisfil. I'll start with the pros. One of the biggest draws to Innisfil is Lake Simcoe, which is the body of water that the town sits alongside of. Lake Simcoe is part of the Trent Severn Waterway, so there is a wide range of boating options that you can get to from Innisfil. With living that close to the lake, there come the natural benefits of swimming, fishing, boating, and just going to hang out at the beach on a hot July day. Innisfil Beach Park is the main beach area in Innisfil, and it can get very busy on hot summer weekends. The funny thing is that much of the beach traffic on the weekends comes from Toronto and GTA, much to the dismay of the longtime residents. In the winter, the lake freezes and you can venture out onto the ice. You can do any number of things out there. You ice fishing, skating, you can play hockey, you can just go for a walk on the ice. Some people do drive their cars or trucks out there. You can do so like at your own risk. I don't recommend it, but do it if you want. It's not unusual to see a couple hundred people out on the ice on a cold afternoon in February. Another pro of living in Innisfil is the reasonably priced housing. Now, when I say reasonably priced, I'm comparing it to areas south of here, like Toronto and the GTA. The average price for a detached property in Innisfil in August 2025 was just over $930,000. Compare that to a detached house in Toronto proper, which was just over $1.5 million. York Region was just under $1.5 million, and then Mississauga was $1.36 million. So yes, compared to those areas, Innisfil is very reasonable. You can get a detached house for around $500,000 less than it would cost you down there. Traffic. If you currently live in the GTA, I keep referring to the GTA here because that's where most of the people moving to Innisfil come from, you will notice that traffic is significantly lighter in Innisfil. If you listen to the old timers around here in Innisfil, you'll hear complaining about how much worse the traffic has gotten. And yes, I notice it too, but that just comes with the amount of growth that there's been. But compared to anywhere south of here, it's a cakewalk. The main road between Alcona and Highway 400 is Innisfil Beach Road. And yes, there are a few congestion points and it can get busy, but for the most part, it moves along pretty well. You won't get the situation where you're waiting through 2 cycles of traffic lights just to get through an intersection. That doesn't happen here. Another pro is that Innisfil is still relatively close to Toronto. If you commute to a job every day or you have family that still lives in the Toronto area, it is only just an hour away. They got a lot of good stuff down there. You got your sports teams, you got your Maple Leafs if you can afford the tickets. Then they have all the touristy stuff and stuff you already know about if you live in Toronto. One thing they have down there that we don't have up here, and I really don't care about it myself, but a lot of people love it, is IKEA. If you want IKEA, you gotta head south. There is GO train service from Barrie, which is very popular with commuters, but there currently is no stations in Innisfil. You would either have to head into Barrie and go to the Barrie South GO station, but then that would add 15 minutes to your commute to get to the station, or you could head south to Bradford and get on at the Bradford GO train station. If the GO train works for you, it can be a really nice, calm way to commute. There is a plan for a GO train station in Innisfil at the 6th line, which is a fairly central location. But this is a government in action, so who knows when that's going to happen. You know how they work. Or you could drive up and down Highway 400, which is what the majority of people do. I'll move on to the cons now. Anywhere you live, there'll be things you don't like. Snow. Probably the biggest con, in my opinion, you will experience in Innisfil is the snow. If you are moving up from the south of here, you're going to notice a big difference. And depending on how much you like your outdoor exercise, you may want to invest in a snowblower. We can have a good year for snow, or we can have a bad year for snow. Some years it can feel like you are out there every day shoveling snow. You are probably going to need snow tires. Depending on how much you drive, snow tires are recommended. You can get by without them. I mean, I got by without them for years. But about 10 years ago, I bought myself a set of snow tires, and they do make a huge difference in the winter. One negative about snow tires is that you have an extra set of tires taking up space in your garage. You either have summer tires in there in the winter, or you have winter tires in there in the summer. But with all the snow, sometimes the school buses get canceled and the kids get a free day from school. Innisfil is lacking for healthcare services. There are a few dentists and physiotherapy, chiropractic clinics around, but not many doctor's offices. That being said, there is the Rizzardo Health and Wellness Center, which is a large complex at the corner of Yonge Street and Innisfil Beach Road. It's a pretty good place. I've been there for aches and pains myself a few times, but there is a need for more. And that is coming in the future. The Royal Victoria Regional Health Centre is planning on building an Innisfil campus. It's going to be at the corner of Innisfil Beach Road and Yonge Street, on an opposite corner from the Rizzardo Health Centre. And there's a plan to do this within 5 to 8 years, so we'll see how that progresses. Shopping. There is limited shopping locations in Innisfil. The Tangers Outlet Mall is located at Highway 89 and 400, and it's a big indoor suburban type shopping mall. There are no grocery stores. It's a car-centered mall. Nobody's walking to the outlet mall. In Alcona, which is the biggest population center in Innisfil, they're shopping along the main strip. A couple of grocery stores, Canadian Tire store, a home hardware, numerous plazas with different types of smaller stores in them. Smaller restaurants. There are no big chain restaurants, sit-down restaurants like a Boston Pizza or Kelsey's. If you are shopping for clothes or household stuff, let's say like housewares or furniture or something like that, you're going to be driving into Barrie or to the outlet mall. You will need a car. Public transit in Innisfil is almost non-existent. There are no buses. If you are thinking you're going to move up here and get by without a car, then rethink that, because Innisfil is not for you. I mean, in bigger cities you can rely on public transit, but not so much here in Innisfil. Innisfil is a car-centered town. They partnered with Uber a few years ago to develop a public transit type system with ride shares, where you can get a ride share for a reduced rate, and the remainder of that is covered by the town. I've never used Uber, and I'm not a public transit user, so I can't really comment on how effective the program is. I see good comments and bad comments online about people's experiences with it. Innisfil is a low-density town, built on urban sprawl. You pretty well have to drive everywhere. So there you have it, some of the pros and cons of living in Innisfil. Like anywhere, it comes down to lifestyle and what's most important to you. But for many people, Innisfil strikes the right balance between small town living and access to the big city. If you are thinking about making the move and want to buy a house in Innisfil, reach out. I'd be happy to help you find the right place. My contact information is in the description down below.